Hi, this is Mayor David Anderson of the City of Kalamazoo, and I'm here again with Vice Mayor Patrice Griffin. Nice to be with you again.
Yes, nice to be with you.
I didn't know whether we were going to do this right away, and here we are doing this
Here
again.
we are again.
Yes.
Here we are again.
Seems like a good idea.
It does.
Yes.
It does.
These are important things to have these conversations, and I think sometimes unusual times bring this need out.
Absolutely.
So we're here tonight because we just finished a City Commission meeting.
Yes, we did.
It is uncertain what our next commission meeting might look like depending on what happens. Things have changed so much. Our next meeting is on April 6th, but who knows what's going to happen.
Correct, and that's interesting because, as you know, we fall under the Open Meetings Act, and that gets very interesting when it comes to having meetings virtually. And it's something that we're definitely going to have to consider and follow up with you all more ahead of the 6th. Just because we may be able to go virtual doesn't mean that everyone has the capacity to interact or that everyone has access. So that's very real, and we want to be as transparent as possible and give people the opportunity to engage.
This is going to be unusual, isn't it? Figuring out how to comply with the Open Meetings Act, which we obviously 100% support.
Definitely.
That's the way government should be.
Yes, it should.
And how do you do it in a time when you're asking people to not gather together? I don't know.
So we will enter this uncharted territory, but just stay tuned and we'll definitely keep you all aware of what the next steps will be. But so for right now, our next meeting will not be until April 6th.
Regular business meeting.
Yes.
So we went over several things tonight on our agenda. So what's some of the highlights of that?
Yes, we did. So some of the highlights for the agenda are, we'll start off with the closure of the city facilities. For those folks who may not know, that starting tomorrow at 7 a.m., March 17th, all city facilities, with the exception of Department of Public Safety, will be closed to the public.
Right.
So that will be different in terms of how we do business, but people will be able to access online
Sure.
to make payments and such. And so that was pretty big.
I mean, that's a big thing.
It is.
I can't remember a time when we've done that, actually. I've been on the commission since 2005, so we'd have to ask our clerk to go back in history to see if this has happened before. But one thing I think we need to be clear about is that their city staff are still working.
Yes, they are.
And it's not only critical city staff, public safety, the people that run our wastewater treatment plant.
Yes.
All those kinds of things. All that work is going on, but other staff are here, even though they may not be interacting with the public. They're here doing that work in the buildings.
Yes, they are. So we want to make sure that everyone is safe while they're doing their work. So yes, there will still be people in the building doing their work. So if you do need assistance as a resident of the city of Kalamazoo, make sure you call 311, or you can call 269-337-8000.
What else did we do tonight?
So we also talked about water. That was a big concern.
Big.
So if you want to let folks know that we have a moratorium on water shutoffs.
Right.
So that is huge. And also, if customers have previously had their water shut off, we're encouraging you to call 311 again or 337-8000 to have that water service turned back on.
Right. That's very important.
Very.
Keep in mind, however, the water bill is still accruing. We haven't forgiven water bills,
Right.
but we are making sure that people do have water, even if they had trouble paying that bill recently.
Absolutely. Right now, health and safety is top priority, and so as a city, we're making sure that everyone's able to have access to water and able to wash those hands as you're absolutely being asked to do.
My hands feel like claws right now.
Right? We all probably could use some extra lotion at this time.
Yes.
So also some other points that we talked about, Kalamazoo Parks programs are canceled through April 12th.
Right.
And that are all of our programs. That includes adult and youth sports, after school programs, spring break field trip, as well as the Easter egg hunt. And the archery tournament may be rescheduled. So that is pretty important as well.
Just another piece of information here, not city business, but I understand that Consumers Energy released some information that they're going to be extending the time when the various programs you have to pay and get caught up, so that no one will be losing any opportunities to heat and light their home during this time,
Yes.
right?
So from what I understand, Consumers Energy for their senior clients and for residents who are low income, they're not going to be stopping any services for folks. And again, that's so important as we're all under this very unprecedented, difficult time. We all need to be pulling together as a community to make sure that we all can stay safe
Right.
and healthy. So
So-
yes, thanks for bringing that up.
Yes. Also, we were involved in something that is unusual tonight in terms of a special resolution that
Yes.
wasn't on our agenda.
Yes, please tell the folks a little bit more about that.
So this came to us really a lot out of the work of city staff
Definitely.
and driven by the fact that there's commissioner concerns and what can we do. And we talked about this a little bit last time in terms of what can we do with city funds.
Yes.
Do they have to be spent in specific ways? And some do.
Right, some do.
But we do have flexibility now that we have the Foundation for Excellence
Yes.
dollars. And that flexibility allows us to make decisions like we did tonight,
Yes, it does.
which is to participate with the United Way of
Mm-hmm.
Kalamazoo and Battle Creek and the Kalamazoo Community Foundation,
Yes.
those two partners, and maybe there'll be more, in really contributing resources to a disaster relief fund. So what are we
Yes.
going to talk about doing with that?
So, I mean, it's important to note that we have allocated $250,000 towards that disaster relief fund.
Mhm.
And really, I mean, at this point, it's a very difficult time. Again, we're still waiting to figure out federally and state-wise what funding is going to come through, but definitely to fill the gaps as people are, now we have this 3 o'clock time where restaurants are closing,
Right.
which is definitely going to have an impact on people. And the truth of the matter is there are already people who were in crisis before this, who were already, struggling before this. And so now it's just compounded. And so it's really, really great that city staff got on that to set those dollars aside and put towards that disaster relief fund to really be able to aid those in need
Right.
the most.
And the fact of the matter is that all the rules and how it gets spent is not all figured out now.
No,
But
no,
we're going to
it's
do
not.
that with community partners,
Definitely.
with the direction to make sure, for example, that people don't lose their housing.
Absolutely.
There may be other challenges that local nonprofits have
Mm-hmm.
if they are losing staff and need help getting volunteers,
Yes.
whatever it may be.
Mhm. Yeah, so
That's
that's
the work.
great that we have some flexibility with those funds, and
Yes.
we're definitely going to be looking forward to letting you all know what's going to be happening in the future. So just stay tuned with that. But that's really, really great that we were able to come to that resolution today.
Right.
So yeah,
Yes.
that's awesome. In spite of all of what's going on.
Yeah.
Um,
So another thing too is that it was unusual for us tonight, and it can make people uncomfortable, is that we vote on expenditures. As a matter of fact, we had 24 items on our consent agenda
Yes.
tonight, all kinds of spending that comes to us as the city commission to approve. And so, just in case we took an action tonight that gives some special temporary authority to the city manager.
Yes, it does, and it's important to let people know that these are for items that are already budgeted in the budget.
Right.
This is not a free-for-all.
Mhm.
He didn't get an open checkbook to just go do whatever.
Right.
So this is very going to be spent specifically, and also we will be notified within
Right.
24 hours
Right.
of any purchases to make sure we can continue to keep the flow of government going, because there are things that need to be done
Right.
even in this this hiatus.
Right.
So it's
So, how we feel about that is that it was temporary
absolutely.
resolution, and there will be communication that goes on.
Definitely.
All items were budgeted.
Yep.
Those are things we approved
Yep,
already
already.
in the budget,
Mhm.
right? And this just gives the city manager to do the work that needs to be done,
Yes.
just in case.
Just
We
in
talked about
case.
our April 6th meeting.
Yep.
We're not certain how that's going to work out.
We do not know yet, so
Right.
that we're just trying to take as many precautions as we can to be as mindful as we can and have
Mhm.
things in place the best of our ability, while still keeping the function of government going, while
Right.
still communicating with the public, and still just being as transparent as possible. So,
Thank
yeah,
you.
that's great.
So what other things? Have I overlooked something here that?
No, I don't think you've overlooked anything. One of the things that I'd like to highlight is we're in this space, and so I want to just really highlight the city staff for making sure that people can still stay engaged with different things that we had coming up.
Mhm.
So we've got an adult use ordinance that we're working on, and so city staff is still working on having engagements with those, so just stay tuned for that. For the Chapter 18 ordinance, that is actually up on the city website if everyone wants to visit kalamazooCity.org, and there's a view on there, there is a link to the video, and there's also instructions, so you can continue to stay engaged during this time, continue to give input and feedback. Again, because we realize that there are already issues that were going on, but we're in this time, so how do we strike that balance? So this is just a way that we've come up with that, because we don't need to be, it's not an open meeting type of situation, it's just input, so we're able to do that like that, so that's pretty exciting as well.
And this is a work in progress.
Absolutely.
And this virtual piece is something we may be getting a little more used to right
Maybe
now.
so, yeah.
But there's an opportunity for people to provide feedback about what's working and what's not.
Absolutely.
On that virtual communication side.
Definitely. So please take advantage of that and let us know how you feel about that, how that's working. But yeah, we're never know how it'll be in the future.
Right. So I think it's possible that we're going to have a mayor, vice mayor. I'm calling it MVM.
Oh, okay.
What do you think?
I like that.
All right. Kind of conversations going forward here during this time. And we haven't decided if they're going to be scheduled at a certain time, but as news changes, we want to make sure that people have a place they can go. And as a matter of fact, there's no sports to watch.
No.
So maybe we'll be a hot new show
Why
on
not
TV.
watch us, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Why not watch us?
Yes, exactly. And any other thing you want to say about our meeting tonight, or just the city of Kalamazoo?
I just want to encourage everyone to, again, while 3 o'clock we have those times placed on us for our restaurants and bars, please continue to shop local and, eat out. I know everyone doesn't cook at home, so just please do that. Tip folks, and just be mindful of the situation that we're all in. We asked last time for everyone to be neighborly. We're all in this together. Unfortunately, this virus, it doesn't matter about what lines you're in. It doesn't matter about your socioeconomic status. If you live in the county, the township, it doesn't matter about any of those things. So now it's just time for us to all come together. And I just really want to thank everyone who's been on the ground, really organizing people and really trying to be there for folks. And I can't ask enough for people to really respect this distance that we're asking that people give, that the governor has asked that we give, and even coming down from the president's office, you may be fine, you may be able to withstand getting sick, but your neighbor may not be able to. People have, compromised immune systems, and this is not about you, it's about all of us. And so I just ask that everyone be cautious, considerate, and thoughtful during this time.
Very well said. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.